So let's try some more examples with basic expressions that have negative exponents. But before we do that, let's take a look at a rough proof of why this is true. All right, so let's just think about, consider the fraction 2 over 16. I know 2 over 16 reduces to 1/8. But what if I were to think about this differently? Let's go back to 2 over 16. And instead, I'm going to rewrite 2 over 16 in terms of exponents. So 2 will be like 2 to the first power. And 16 could be written as 2 to the fourth power, right? Remember, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 16. All right, and I also know that the quotient rule could apply here, which means I can subtract my exponents, which would be 2 to the 1 minus 4, which equals 2 to the negative 3. Now, I already know that 2 over 16 equals 1/8. So 2 to the negative 3 should also equal 1/8. Now, if we're using this rule here that says our base raised to a negative exponent should be equal to the reciprocal, but the exponent is positive. So that's like 1 over 2 cubed. And remember, 1 over 2 cubed is equal to 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. Okay, so notice how all of these things should work together. So with that said, let's try 4 more examples. 2 to the negative 3. Okay, so we just saw that. That's 1 over 2 cubed, which equals 1 over 2 times 2 times 2, which is 1/8. Now, sometimes people get a little confused when your base is negative and the exponent is negative. Here we have in parentheses -8, and then outside of parentheses an exponent of -1. So if you think of this as a fraction, okay, so the -8 goes across the fraction bar and the 8 stays negative. The exponent to the first power, that's positive, and 1 is in the numerator. So we can also write this as 1 over -8. All right, and then remember, whenever you have a fraction that's negative, you have 1 over -8, you can write that as -1/8. Okay, now this time we have a factor with the negative exponent in the denominator. We're going to take 6 to the negative 2 across the fraction bar into the numerator. So we get 6 squared. We assume there's still a 1 in the denominator, but we don't need it in this case, so we can just write 6 squared, and that gives us 36. All right, on the right, we have something similar. We have 1 over, and then in parentheses, -8, close parentheses, to the -2 power. Okay, we want to take our -8 across the fraction bar into the numerator. And now we're going to square it. The exponent became positive. We still assume a 1 in the denominator, which we don't need. So we're left with the square of -8, which equals -8 times -8, which is a positive 64.